Good morning. My name is Rachel Gunderson, and I am the Key Account Manager with ResMed. Thank you for coming in. Today is Thursday, June 7th, I believe, 2018, and I'm here to present on ResMed's latest ventilator product in the U.S. It's the Astral 100 and 150. So I'm going to work primarily with a group, but you can zoom in as you need to. So just a little bit of background both on why we're here today and the product itself. So I was contacted by Dawn recently to come in and introduce this product. As I understand, there's been some patients in the area that are on this product that have come into the hospital and with the unit, and so we wanted to get some familiarity with the unit itself. So what I plan to do today is do kind of a little bit more of a high-level overview of the unit itself, so you have some familiarity with it. You have the ability to get tools if you need to be able to reference. So we'll talk a little bit about what's available for you guys. And let me actually start with that. First of all, this unit itself does have a clinical manual, and I have sent that to Dawn, and she is posting it out on your organization's intranet, so that way you can get information as you need. So there's a clinical manual as well as quick start guides, and we also have 24-hour technical support, Astral support, and that number is on the brochures. I believe it's 855-245-4640. So if you do have any issues after hours, you can always contact them as well. So first of all, with this unit itself, we technically have two models of this unit. This unit's been out for about 3 to 4 years, right in there. We have the 100 and the 150, and it's possible that your patients could be on either one of the units. There are minimal differences between the units. They're both going to look alike. They're going to sound alike. They're going to essentially do almost the exact same thing as the other, minus a couple of key differences, and I'll start with those. The 100 is our base model, and that unit has the capability to do essentially all the different modes your hospital vent will be able to do, and it also has the ability to do 2 different programs. So you can have a nighttime program as well as a program for daytime, or a program to use like with exercise and so forth. The 150 has 4 program capabilities. So you could also have a sick mode. You could have something to be used with physical therapy in addition to a daytime mode and your nighttime mode too. The 150, which is our top model, also has an integrated FiO2 sensor built in, so you don't have to put any type of external FiO2 sensor, so you can see online or on screen what your FiO2 percentage would be for that patient and titrate accordingly. But this unit does not have an internal blender, so keep that in mind when you're adding in O2, which you can actually bleed in up to 30 liters of O2 for the patient and be able to generate, for most of your patients, a relatively high FiO2 percentage, but you just need to look at what your percentage is and titrate your O2 based on the percentage needs for that patient. So what I thought I would do is start with kind of a general overview of the outside of the unit, so that way you can see what the outside looks like, what the different connections are, and then secondly, we'll get into the actual menus itself too. Sound good? So this unit, just a little bit of background on the unit. This unit weighs in at just over 7 pounds. It's also portable, so patients can take it with them. We have different options, including a backpack, a carrying bag, and a more premium carrying bag for patients to take it along with them if they want to. We have a tabletop stand, so that can be used in a hospital room or a bedroom in the patient's home. We also have trolleys or carts that the unit can be mounted to as well, safely and securely. A few additional accessories that you're not going to see here today that are potentially available too are batteries. So this unit itself internally has an 8-hour plus battery. Depending on the mode, depending on the pressures, you could get even more than 8 hours with it too. But patients do have options to get external batteries, and you could get potentially up to 24 hours plus of battery life before even having to plug into a power source for the patient too. This unit also has pressures that will go up to a pressure of 50. So it's high pressures, modes, very similar to up to the modes that you have in your hospital ventilators too. You can do virtually anything you do in the hospital on this unit. It is approved for pediatrics down to 5 kilograms as well too. Okay, so it does have a wide range. So real quickly on the unit itself, I'm going to turn the unit around We'll start with probably the most important thing, and that's your power. The cord itself is a locking cord, so even if I try to pull on it, it's not going to pull out. You'll notice that there's a little white arrow. Let's see it. There's a little white arrow that will show you where to hook it in at. And to unlock it, you want to push in, grab by the arrows, and pull down, and it pulls out. So it has a little lock on it. Okay? And I will let you play with this here in a moment. You heard the battery or the alarm go off. There is an alarm that will indicate anytime you switch from your AC to DC or battery power as well, just to alert you. The back of the unit also has your main power button, so the unit can stay in standby and be plugged in and not actually running, but your power button is this green button here on the back. Over on the left-hand side is your air inlet filter, and that's in its own little special compartment that you just twist counterclockwise and you pull out, and the white ring that you see here is the filter. So you can just reach in, pull the filter out, just like that. Check your filter. We recommend that the filter be changed between patients if it's used in a hospital setting, or if it's in a home setting, to be checked regularly, probably once a week. Dust off anything that's on there, replace as needed. But you can go potentially as much as 6 months in the home setting without replacing it per our recommendations. When you put it back in, you just slide it back in, you twist, and it will actually make like a little locking. You'll actually feel it lock in place, so you know that you've got it in place. We also have our O2 inlet, and it just uses your little oxygen ports, and it will actually snap in. You get it centered just right here. Come on. There we go. And then there's a little release on the bottom. You just click on, and it'll pop back out. Okay.
Can you just leave that attached?
You can leave it attached. If you do transport the unit too, you just want to be careful so you don't break it off and pop it off. Okay. Under this little flap right here, we have a little protective silicone cover. Underneath it are going to be connections for if you're doing external batteries. If you're also in the home care setting, they might be monitoring with a modem. So we have modem capability to be able to monitor how patients are doing, if they're using it, if they're having some events, if there's some intervention that's needed, we can do that too. So it's hardwired to one of the openings on here. If you're also doing integrated oximetry, we do have an oximeter module that snaps in directly into the unit. So it saves space on the nightstand or the hospital stand so that they can actually do the oximetry with it. You'll also find connections for a remote alarm function that we have. So we do have remote alarms that can be used in the home setting. So the unit and the patient can be in one room, mom or caregiver can be in another room and still be alerted if there's an alarm and it needs to be attended to. And then also if there's any servicing requirements, software updates, we have the connections for being able to do those as well. So you'll find those on the back here too. Okay. Your volume or your sound for the alarm is going to come out of this opening right on the bottom here too. Okay. I'm going to show you one more thing and then I'm going to give the unit to you to let you kind of play with it here in a moment. This unit, the 150, has the capability to do up to 3 different circuit configurations, whereas the 100, you can do 2 circuit configurations. The way you change it out between your different circuits is through the use of some circuit adapters. So we have up to 3 different types of circuit adapters. So the types of circuits you can use with this unit would be either, first of all, a single limb circuit with a vent, and that vent can be either through like a whisper swivel or venting at a, your traditional CPAP bilevel mask with it as well. So with this type of configuration, what we have is just the single opening for the tube to plug into, so going to the patient. The other side, the return side, is going to be blocked off with the use of your circuit adapter. If you're going to be using like a single limb with a valve circuit, you have that functionality with both the 100 and the 150. If you wanted to also do a dual limb circuit, you can do that on the 150 as well. So we can also get return tidal volumes from that patient too, okay? And all of these would be through the circuit adapters, and I'll show you those next. So on the bottom of the unit, you will find a little casing. Anytime you lay the unit down, just make sure you lay it down on a flat surface so that way there's no damage to the screen below. But on the bottom of the device, you're going to have a little cover over here on your right side. You just snap it down, and then you can change your adapter. So we have 3 different adapters. So with the adapters, we have one where basically everything is all closed up, which means that your return side is all sealed up. So that would be used with a single limb with a leak circuit, so that way you've got venting up at the mask, and that would be this one. If you're doing the valve circuit, the single limb with a valve, we have an adapter so that you can plug your pressure and your proximal lines tubing right into that as well. And that would hook in right there. And then if you're doing a dual limb, both of these are going to be open on the outside so that you have your return line will hook into one, and then your exhaled air is going to come out through the other side as well. Each of these circuit adapters have little ports, little plastic openings on the bottom side that are going to snug into the blue silicone that you have on here. So what you would do is you would take your appropriate circuit adapter and just kind of snug it down in there, just like that. And then take your cover, and you're going to slide your cover starting kind of at the front. It just locks it in, okay? Just like that, all right? So what I'm going to do, if you want, I'm going to let her do her own little kind of play with it for a moment. And then we can do something in front of the camera closer to if you need.